think we're made for Russian people? Good question.
Did you do this? Yes. Okay.
Tom?
Hey, how's it going?
Nice. Josh? Josh?
Already, Щучье is famous for
Совместный проект
having
по
a
уничтожению
storage place with chemical
российско-американцев.
weapons and building the destruction facility.
Подробнее об этом расскажет Галина Ивановна.
Galina Ivana is going to tell you a little
Сейчас
bit more
будет
about
часовая
that.
лекция и фильмы.
Now you're going to have an hour of lecture and some
Сейчас
films.
5 минут. Первого ровно в час мы идем на ланч.
1 o'clock we'll have lunch.
Ровно в 2 часа мы выезжаем на площадку. Выезжаем на площадку по строительству, где будет строиться
At
этот
2
завод.
o'clock we are leaving, we're getting in the bus and we are leaving to see the building facility where they built the destruction.
Американское представительство фирмы Parsons, мы не об этом знаем. Тоже
American
расскажет
office,
немного о
Parsons
совместной
company.
деятельности. Так, это будет до 4 часов.
It will be up to 4.
Пол-четвертого, вернее, мы оттуда выезжаем, к 4 часам будем
3:30 we are leaving, at 4 o'clock we will be here.
в районный дом культуры, где
myself, but I hope you will help me, and I will very thankful for him. He will help me. You see, you in our library. Here is a reading hall, and when we have some meetings, if it's more than 20 persons, we try to sit here and show our progress. As for me, I think that first of all, I want to show you about your chemical weapon, United States chemical weapons. Why? You are in Russia. As I know, most of you, I mean students from United States, don't know about chemical weapons in the United States. And so they think that maybe it's only problem of Russia. No, it's our problem, United States and Russia. So first of all, we show how keep weapons in desert. In English, so it's
A full-scale disposal plant has also been built on the depot to destroy the chemical stockpile. The actual chemical waste
in Saratov, Gorny Saratov. They begin from the December this year. They are going to destroy their chemical weapons. It's a difference between United States and our Russian chemical weapons. First of all, United States chemical weapons, all of kinds chemical weapons on one facility. On one facility, we have such way those which is very dangerous for skin, Gorny, Kambarkan. We have nervous gases here, nervous. And so only nervous, but different kinds of nervous gases here, 3 kinds. And so we can use only one technology. But United States decided to destroy it with incineration because of different kinds of chemical weapons on one facility. It's impossible to take it and move anywhere because it's very dangerous. Our weapon, without, I'll look for one word, without explosions, our weapon. And Russia last year destroyed all the explosions. So it's according to the convents. But in United States, they couldn't such way put out explosions, and so it all together. It's very dangerous. And if according, if I can say about our weapons, they are quite thin, thick. But in United States. So, but United States have to do it quite quickly, and I told Johnson, I don't know what is English for say Johnson, they destroyed already all the facility. It's almost destroyed, more than half, in Utah, too early desert you saw, and in the beginning in Umatilla. But we have no, only Gorny. And together our government and your government decided to destroy it in Щучье, but not only from Щучье. It's about 2 millions. You see, about 2 millions, I'll say, projectors here, about 2 millions. It's a very big facility, but such facility, the same facility we have in Kizner, Udmurtia, and they are going to move this all the weapon here in Щучье when we begin to destroy our chemical weapons. So what kind of chemical weapons and how we keep them and how we protect our population we'll see in our film. First of all, you'll see it's without special thing which is very dangerous. So, windy.
Yes.
And what? Maybe winter. And weapon here, even we have warhead for rockets here. All our weapons clothed with special color, which change its color when it will danger for population, for example. And you'll see here special people which look on this weapon and decide how to special container to put if it very dangerous. So we have special, little special facility, machine facility which destroyed those weapon which is not well. But as your country, so our country can't do something without, we can't do something without inspectors from Hague, because your country and our country a member of convention, international convention. So if something happens, we have to ask from Hague special inspectors and show them, you see, what we can do. And they decided what we, your country, have to do with this weapon.
Наиболее отвечающих требованиям по безопасному хранению этого
They
вида.
decided that it's more safety here.
Своей историей объект в поселке Плановый ведет с 1941 года, с первого года Грозной Великой Отечественной. Как обыкновенный военный склад, целая система которых создавалась в первые тяжелейшие годы войны в тыловых районах. Для снабжения в 1947-м склад был переименован в Центральную артиллерийскую базу боеспособной охраны и обороны запасов. Поддержание постоянной готовности сил и средств для ликвидации последствий взрывов. Мониторинг состояния окружающей среды, рабочей зоны объектов по хранению и жителей. Плотность сельского населения около 7 человек на квадратный километр соответствует средней по области.
Have to be it's necessary because we can save all the world if we work together. And so, as for me, I'm not young already, quite not young. Who live here, not my grandchild, and not only one grandchild, but my grandchildren. So, as for me, I think that you, I don't say something wrong about Tom, because you know one of the greatest cities such way.
Ольга Васильевна.
Okay. Dower, I'm with Parsons Corporation. We're the contractor assigned for this project. We'll tell you a little about the project. This is Greg Shapiro. He's the construction manager, and he's in charge of all the construction out here. So we're just getting started. Has anybody explained to you anything what we're doing?
No.
Nothing? Okay, I'm going to drop some numbers here. This is out of USA Today, October 1st. I got off the internet. I have very little communications down here. But there's we're just starting a project, about a $900 million project, to destroy 5,400 tons of nerve gas that's in storage close by. That's a lot of nerve gas.
What type of nerve gas is it?
Well, what is it, Greg? It's VX, sarin, Soma.
Two different types of sarin, right?
Four.
Four.
VVX, that is
The smallest piece stored will kill 140,000 people, just like that, can be walked away in a briefcase. So it's pretty nasty stuff. But anyway, in 92, I guess it was, with the Cooperative Threat Reduction Program signed with the U.S. and Russia and ratified in 1997. The agreement to destroy both American and Russian nerve gas, as well as a lot of other countries, put into effect. And this is the product of those negotiations. The weapons here are 1/7 of Russians' nerve gas arsenal. Most of them are portable.
How portable? Like, are all of them briefcase size, or?
No. A lot of them are bigger artillery pieces. There's thousands of them fit in a briefcase. The United States has 30,000 tons of nerve gas. Russia has 40,000 tons. Kill the world's population 200-300 times. So it's a little bit overkill. So we're looking forward to 6 years of a lot of fun around here. Craig, you want to run through the system?
This is actually sites that we have to build. And in peak time, this site we were working about 2,000 workers. At present time, we have average about 200 workers on site, approximately 50 different pieces of equipment like dozers, backhoes. On this side we will have, as you can see, it's two main buildings where all main process will take place. In other buildings, overall it will be a technological system for the chemical process for the converting these gases into some commercial product, and some administration buildings and supporting utilities. As Bo said, we now in pre-construction stage, and probably for full swing, subject to financing in place. It looks like indications that the probability it will happen. Construction will start full speed sometime in spring. So this is briefly.
What the 4,000 tons I mentioned earlier, I believe that was the number, is stored about 20 kilometers away from here. We're actually a little closer to it coming in the road, and it's going to be brought in on railroad into the storage building where they will test the munitions for leaks. If there's no leaks, if there is leaks, it'll be decontaminated right there. If there's no leaks, it'll be brought into the production building. They take the munitions, they drill holes in it, they drain it out, the liquid gets put in a reactor to neutralize it, then the munition itself is put in a furnace and The rest of it's burnt off, and it's destroyed, and like Greg said, used in commercial, I guess it's mostly brass and copper, will be used in commercial applications. And the raw materials is inert, but it's going to be stored over in there eventually. You guys must have a lot of questions. Go ahead.
Do a lot of these come in with leaks? Or do a lot of...
I read someplace just recently, maybe in this article, they've had 4 or 6 munition leaks over the last few years, out of how many thousands I mentioned. So, but they have to be careful because to start handling them, they want to know if there is leaks.
What protection will there be in the shipment on the train?
It's all secured. It's still under development from the. That is an issue that the government and the population is worried about. But you can see it's all fenced in all the way up here. It's 20 kilometers, and there's a whole separate security system to take care of it.
Tell me about the funding. Is this a joint effort in terms of funding, or is this all the Russians are funding this portion?
Now the Russians are doing all the infrastructure, which involves gas lines, schools for the population, housing, offices, hospitals, all the, and there's 10 donor nations, that's what's represented on the flags. The Canadians have already contributed, the British are coming in tomorrow, the pipelines you see out here are being completed. Russian contractors were funded by the Brits. At the G7 conference it was Calgary, wasn't it, just recently, or Vancouver? Somewhere in Canada a few months ago, they had the G7 pledged $10 billion for this program against the United States, $10 billion. There's $20 billion been pledged. How much of it's reality, I don't know. The U.S. portion is the processing plant itself, and that's it. But gas has to be brought, natural gas for 100 miles, and utilities, the high voltage electricity, that's all being supplied by the Russians.
Sort of
There's a massive development going on besides just this plant.
what sort of impact will that have on this area in terms of population and any estimates on how that's going to change this area in terms of numbers of people and service industry and
I don't have those numbers, but we're building, one school went into service this fall. Driving out, you see 2 big brick buildings on the left going out. That's another new school. Up in Kurgan, we're starting expansion on the hospital. I say we, the program. And the Szczучье hospital is being expanded. We just finished water lines to Szczучьe recently. First time they've had permanent, steady supply of water to the village. The powers just come into Umlaut, that little town, Berkeley Pass. So there's a lot of development going on that's going to help the local economy and the populace.
thank you.
I want to add a little about testing lab. We just completed a testing laboratory that built where is all this munition stored on this territory. This lab will be in operation probably within the next months or so. And once this lab was built, it will be developed and test technology and collect all data that will be used on these facilities. And mainly it's Russian scientists with participation of American specialists, and it's a scale project 1 to 50 in comparison with this facility. So we will have this testing facility available that will be all technological process that will be implemented on this side, tested at this lab.
What kind of chemicals are used in your neutralization process?
I don't know, I'm not a chemist. But it's in a low pressure reactor.
Okay.
The liquid goes in and the chemicals are mixed and it's tested right in the reactor before new batch is batched. It's a batch process.
As far as safety goes, have people been killed, like when the United States was destroying their chemical weapons during the process now?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Our company jointly we've been, the first one I'm aware of was built with Johnson. What we do collectively, Greg and myself, is we're in charge of building the plant, and that's it. We will finish it, turn it over to the Russian government with expertise from many different places to operate it. So I won't see, probably won't see anything destroyed here myself. We'll finish it for home. But the neutral agent, the process is they mix it with bitumen, make asphalt cylinders out of it, and they're completely neutral, and they store them here. The munitions themselves, as I said, get used wherever they need brass and copper.
So it's just turned into like tar or
Salt,
they store it?
salt. It's turned into salt.
Well, I'm just wondering, maybe that's, but you might know, maybe you may know that. Well, how long will it take to destroy the chemical weapons stored in that area?
By the treaty, they're supposed to be finished by 2007, but the funding's been so slow in coming that we're forecasting a few years after that. I'm not forecasting, but the program.
Will the facility be still in operation after the chemical weapons stored here will be destroyed?
No.
No.
Just the plans are to take it down and take it away.
Is there a reason why they had this built 20 kilometers from the source of their weapons? It seems like a long distance.
I can't answer that. Site selection
Put a
was,
train-
took 2 years to make site selection.
For this plant?
Yeah. So there was a lot of decisions and politics and to select this site.
And what is the function of the nitrogen?
It's probably just for instrumentation.
Supply to support some systems in the buildings.
For the process. It's not, it doesn't go into the chemical, it doesn't go into the reaction at all. Probably nitrogen blankets for safety. Yes, sir.
How do you feel personally to be involved in a project like this? I mean, obviously, with your expertise, you could be working on some big project in Houston or outside Los Angeles or some other place. Here you are, a long distance from your home and family.
My home's Houston, and I just finished 3 years in China, and Greg, we've been all over the world. It's the first time I've worked with Greg, but it's what we do. I'm sure there's a lot of people here that are going to take fond memories back of Russia and say, I want to go back to Russia when I get out of college and help run this thing, or help do something else, or go to China. It's, when I first went overseas a long time ago, my boss said, if you do this, you'll never be happy sitting at a desk in Houston. And I said, no. And that's it. Greg and I just talked about it today.
The pen pals and so forth, and it wasn't until the issue of the chemical munitions disposal plant coming up in the Kurgan region that suddenly our U.S. government took an interest in our sister city relationship, because we had a long-standing commitment of friendship among the people of the both countries. And initially, when the proposal was for the United States to come here and build this chemical munitions disposal plant, there was a great deal of distrust and fear on the part of the Russian citizens, thinking that for some reason the U.S. was interested in building this plant here because we were now going to ship our dirty weapons and chemicals over here for them to dispose of. And of course the concern was if somebody's ecology was going to be messed up, better the United States take care of those problems on their own. It was only through the trust of certain individuals who still are actively involved in a lobbying effort of a number of people involved in the program in Washington, D.C., that a lot of those initial fears and obstacles were overcome. And it was also through the lobbying effort of a lot of the people involved in the Sister City program in Appleton to convince our leaders in Washington, D.C. to go ahead with the funding of this program. And the idea was the United States was going to fund everything inside the fence, and the Russians were going to fund the infrastructure outside the fence. But because of our relationship, we've gotten other government grants that have, for example, allowed us to start a primary health care clinic in the community of Щучье. And there's other medical exchanges and other things going on in the community to help with education, with the infrastructure, that would not have occurred except for this particular political issue that's happening here, but it's gotten the attention of our U.S. government, and in some ways you're the recipients of the attention that our government has given the issue.
And a lot of reasons why it's good is you cross it. It's the same river they crossed over.
Yeah, this river goes, you cross this river when you go the bridge.
So how about we run you guys? Let's run through the picnic. Everybody.
Где он? Золото. Why is it so cold?
Чего корчишься?
Да потому что. Где он?
Можем туда.
Сейчас подойдем. Где музыка-то вся?
Нет мне дороги, мой брошенный край. Если увидеть пытаешься издали, не разглядишь меня, не разглядишь меня, друг мой, прощай. Я уплываю, и время несет меня с края на край. С берега к берегу сотни веков приведу, прощай. Знаю, когда-нибудь дальнего берега, дальнего прошлого, ветер из тени ночной принесет тебе снова от меня. Ты погляди, не осталось ли что-нибудь после.
Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья!
Good afternoon, dear friends.
Позвольте нам начать сегодняшний вечер.
Let us begin our concert.
Если вы сегодня с нами здесь, значит, во-первых, вам интересно творчество наших зарубежных друзей, и, во-вторых, вы решили помочь приюту.
Your presence here means that you are really interested in the art of our foreign friends and that you are ready to help to our orphanage.
Все средства, собранные сегодня, пойдут в фонд детского приюта.
Everything that we get today during this concert will go to the orphanage.
А мы надеемся, что вам будет здесь сегодня интересно.
And we hope that you will enjoy the concert.
Наш концерт мы начинаем музыкальной композиции американских школьников.
And we would like to start our concert with the American presentation.
Попросим их поддержать.
And you too.
The sounds of America are many and diverse.
Звуки Америки разнообразны и... Звуки Америки многообразны, извините.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught.
Although we may not have the rich, long Russian arts traditions which you have shared with us in your visit to our home last spring,
Несмотря на то, что мы не располагаем теми богатыми традициями русской культуры, созданными многолетней историей,
we have managed to squeeze a lot of different styles and musical excitement out of the 230 years our country has been singing and dancing.
которыми вы поделились с нами во время вашего визита к нам в Эпплтон, мы смогли выжать различные стили музыки и волнения музыки из тех 230 лет, на протяжении которых наша страна танцевала и пела.
As our thank you to your great country, we would like to share a few of them with you.
И как наша благодарность вашей великой стране, мы бы хотели показать вам некоторые из них.
Let's start our musical journey at the turn of the last century, when ragtime was the rage, and Scott Joplin, its greatest composer.
Мы бы хотели начать наше выступление с поворотного пункта последнего века, когда неистовали рэгтайм и его величайший композитор Скотт Джоплин.
Scott Joplin's Maple Leaf Rag.
Обрывок кленового листа.
Another of America's...
Другой наш известный композитор Джордж Гершвин прославлял нашу природу и величественные пейзажи. Его произведение «Грустная рапсодия».
When some folks think America, their next thought comes out jazz.
Когда некоторые люди думают об Америке, следующее, что им приходит в голову, это джаз.
In the 1940s, the big band sound took our country by storm, and along with it, swing dancing hasn't let go yet. Benny Goodman's classic, Sing, Sing, Sing.
В 1940-х годах звуки биг-бенда захватили страну штормом, и вместе с танцем свинг они до сих пор существуют. И сейчас вам будет представлен классический свинг Бенни Гудмана «Пой, пой, пой».
the second half of the century, pop sounds started to take over the radio airwaves, as well as the hearts and dancing feet of our country's teens.
Как только Америка достигла второй половины века, звуки поп-музыки начали заполнять как радиоволны, так и сердца людей и пускающиеся в пляс ноги подростков страны.
Our tribute to these songs begins with the Supremes' early 60s girl group rocker, Love Child.
Мы бы хотели отдать должное поп-музыке